only get 22% of the vote is, I mean, and the other thing, while we wait on these players to start, oh, Lciop. Oh,
wow.
Lciop. Wall breakers, game 1 against Morten.
Fascinating choice here from China's greatest player. Wall breakers against Morten. I mean, if he goes Piggy's game 2, then we certainly know it's a full-on troll job.
Yeah, I mean, this is really risky for him. I think the only thing riskier would be Morten actually running them because everyone just counters him. But think about it on Lciop's end. What if it would have been a mirror match wall breakers against the best minor wall breakers player in the history of CRL?
Drill wall breakers here for Lciop. So fascinating choice. You do have the mortar to pick up wall breakers and the arrows for that drill cleanup. We'll see how this one shakes out in the long run.
He also has skellies that he could defend the wall breakers with, as you see there. A little bit of a miss.
Ooh.
And not something we usually see out of Morten. I think he expected the Valk to keep on moving forward. Instead, it was still in range. But I think he has a lot of great answers. Like you were talking about, those arrows can come in onto that drill. He has the mortar that's going to force out a bunch of troops because you can't just stop a mortar with the bomber. The Fire Spirit will only delay it for a little bit. The cannon cart should take care of the Valk over and over again. And it's getting a little scary. It seems like Morten is falling behind in cycle quite a bit.
What's the key, you think, for Lciop in winning this matchup?
Just keep up the pressure. The second that he falls back and over defends, Morten will take control of the match, and that is where it gets really bad for Lciop. Lciop has to continuously pressure, especially in this single elixir right now. He has the way quicker cycle. He has the direct damage onto tower, and if Morten can just survive a little bit longer, I think he can't just survive the first minute of double elixir. He's going to need a little bit more time than that. He'll be good to go.
Mortar has to go high for those wall breakers. Gets picked up by the bomber. Yeah. Pressure on the left-hand lane, and here we go. Graveyard number 1.
Yeah, guards should come down as well. He decides not to play the guards, and that's actually a good choice because Morten did not use the arrows on that defense, and that is why he was able to really push with that graveyard. He forces out the Valk. The Valk will go down to this cannon cart, and he puts himself in a really good situation. Morten is slowly turning the match around. Even though the damage hasn't come in, you'll be able to see that, and he's continuing to use the mortar so he can keep the arrows for the guards onto the graveyard. He's playing this so smart.
Guards now not in cycle for Graveyard, but no tank available as well. So we see the pressure coming in right-hand side, and this is interesting. You see the way that Lciop's forcing the arrows out with those drill wall breakers pushes, making it just a little bit earlier than maybe Morten would like.
Yeah. He has to do that. It is the only way that he'll have full control on defense. The guards were perfect there from Lciop. A great understanding of where the weakness is for Morten and where the strengths lie for Morten as well. He wants to keep that out of Morten's hands, and that is why he's pushing like that. He knows he's not going to get any damage out of the wall breakers and drill push, but that also leaves Morten without an ability to actually push the way he wants to.
Graveyard in, Valk on defense, this time just skeletons for those wall breakers. Does not miss this time around, so that's a nice one elixir trade.
And he got a couple skelly hits there at the end from the skelly in the front, and this match is pretty even at this point. Lciop lost his whole lead. The wall breaker's going on the left-hand side, but now he has to drop a bomber or a Valk. He decides to go Tesla onto this mortar, and if I'm Morten right now, I'm sitting back being patient because this is triple elixir. All I need is one good graveyard, and this is game over.
Setting up defense on the right-hand side, so Lciop goes left-hand lane instead. Mortar goes high, and this mortar might get a connection. No, goes back towards the Goblin Drill, and a nice pickup by Lciop with the Tesla in the middle.
Yeah, the mortar actually does connect onto tower, but it's on the wrong side. It's not really that big of a deal unless he doesn't defend it at all. Beautiful set of arrows there. Morten does have fireball as well, and that mortar continuously connecting. And did you see those skellies catch that Fire Spirit? That mortar is doing work.
2088, and we'll see if he does keep the Stab Goblins off. They do get a couple of shots here. 1960 to 1543. Morten, though, way in the lead with about 12 seconds left.
Yeah, and he has 2 spells as opposed to the 1 spell from Lciop. He could go ahead and just take this right now. I don't see any wall breakers connecting with 3 seconds left. Lciop, you can see it in his face, not happy.
Morten with a great game. And, you know, we've seen sort of a shift in Graveyard more recently. Win conditions overall. There was a lot, for the longest time, if you asked a Graveyard player, how do I play Graveyard? The first piece of advice they see from Lciop now is, do we see the guy who was at one point the best bridge spam player on the planet go back to bridge spam here?
Yeah, bridge spam is just, it's either an incredible matchup or you just get stuck and you cannot break through. He has the Golden Knight, which is a sign of bridge spam. It is the new Bandit, the new and improved Bandit, we can say. Morten showing guards, and when you're trying to catch miners, that's not a bad thing to have.
Not at all, and we are going to Miner Golden Knight both sides. Of course, not the exact same matchup that we just saw in Game 2 of our Mohamed Light mini-minor match, but you are seeing how popular this two-card combination is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the strongest in the game because you know they're going to play troops to try and catch that miner, and if you could just get that Golden Knight to dash onto tower with those troops that are coming off of that defense, you get so much value. So the combination is one that I absolutely love.
Slight lead right now for Vs Lciop, 24-33 to 26-17, courtesy of that mortar connection. So we saw Morten run mortar in game number 1, now Lciop with mortar in game number 2. And, you know, a big thing to talk about here, because it's been interesting. For a long time, the Mega Minion kind of fell out of favor. And there was a point where Mega Minion was everywhere. It got nerfed about 2 years ago. But right now, the Mega Minion is showing up over and over and over again.
It's so strong, especially against a deck like this. The Golden Knight on the bridge is usually the last card coming through. It's alone. A Mega Minion is able to defend it very well. It has a high DPS. You can't just fireball it. You would have to overextend your, you know, the elixir, and it puts you in a nice position. I think that is why we're seeing it. Also, the fact that, you know, Musketeer, Hunter has fallen out of favor. Both of those cards were very good cards against the Mega Minion.
Final minute of regulation, double elixir starting to flow, and Morten sets up his Golden Knight in the back. It will pick up the mortar along with the Tesla to clear it off the board as we go into our final minute.
Yeah, and what I have seen from Morten is he's not really using that dash all that much. I've seen his Golden Knight cross the bridge, I think 3 times without a dash, and people might be thinking, why is he doing that if it's going to go down anyway? It's still an extra elixir that he's keeping in his pocket, but that is, I was about to say, he needs to be careful with those guards, because if a dash was activated there, that Golden Knight from Lciop would have hit tower, and slowly but surely, Lciop is taking full control here.
Cannon Cart does get taken down by the log miner in Mega Minion high, but the defensive Mega Minion goes to the miner, not to the offensive. Pressure doesn't matter either way, does hold on, but it is Lciop ahead by about 1,000 or about 700 HP.
Yeah, this is the first real dash we get out of Morten on the other side of the field. I'm not sure if that Golden Knight will live. It does not, unfortunately for him. I think he was just off of his second dash there. If he was able to get that connection, it would have been amazing to get him back in the game. But that was overall a very good push for him.
Poison pressure in for Morten. Miner goes to the back this time. Poison high, not on all the spears, but will help take down a bit of that. Golden Knight in the front tanking. This is a lot coming down the pipe from Vs Lciop.
Yeah, this is very scary. He does catch the dash yet again. So Morten being very smart about those guards, not getting caught with the opposing Golden Knight. But Morten is back in this. Those poisons and miners have been so brutal to Lciop because he doesn't have guards. It seems a little bit like the situation that we saw earlier with Mini Minter. One player has something to really catch that miner over and over again, while the other player is just struggling to keep it off. Oh, wow.
And that was a very, very nice early guards from Morten, protecting both the back, the sides, and the front, and able to hold on with the catch. Right now, Lciop up by a little over 100 HP, but here we go. Poison in, miner in, and a nice switch there by Morten to go miner to the front. We are very tight. Lightning in, 146. This is very, very close. Morten has to get damage in very quickly before that lightning finishes things off.
Yeah, miner is going to come in here, but he catches it with his own miner.
What a catch! And a lightning block! Oh my word! Log down! Morten gets the log, 18 HP! Unbelievable! Oh my word! Pull that in the booth, RF. That was an insane finish here. That's what you want at World Finals. On that channel, here we go. Game number 3, Morten and Lciop, a winner's bracket spot on the line, and Morten, one of the all-time great bait players, going bait.
Bait, one of the all-time greats in bait in 1v1, in 2v2, probably a triple draft as well. He is very comfortable with bait. My worry for him is, did Lciop expect this? You already see the cage for the wall breakers. You see the bar barrel there as well for the goblin barrel. There are a lot of answers very early on.
Princess cycle to the right-hand side. And
oh, man.
Wow.
Rough.
This is real rough. Both Princess and Archer Queen. Interesting wrinkle in this deck.
Yeah, it's my biggest issue here is if one of his cards happens to be delivery somehow, this is game over already. There is no way he's going to get damage. He has that. Yeah, he's just going with cage. So basically what we talked about earlier, we said delivery was the second best defense for Archer Queen, and after that it is that goblin cage. He decides to go with, oh, rare mistake there out of Morten to put it so close that one wall breaker gets taken out. That is a very rough matchup if you're a Morten fan, and we know 78% of the chat is a Morten fan.
We also know that Morten is one of the players who gets the roughest matchup history in all of Clash Royale, so some of those woes do continue. Still early on, no significant damage either direction. As we go past the first minute 40 seconds, Morten has quite a lot on the board.
He does, but a cage should come down here in the middle, or he's actually defensive hoggies. I don't think I'll say that many times throughout World Finals, but overall, just a very solid play there from Lciop. He needs to throw a cage down. This will not be enough. He doesn't have Elixir. This is gonna connect, and Morten in Morten fashion somehow makes wall breakers connect in a deck that they have no business connecting.
And now just a pressure goblin barrel, but of course, bar barrel not available, so there you go. Good damage, 18-03. Morten out to a big lead here in game 3.
Yeah, Morten in a very nice position. It was going to be very tough for him to get that to connect. He is able to grab this lead, and now he can just play safe. We know Morten is very capable of defending very big pushes with, you know, those small units. He does have the cage, but he needs to be careful with the flying machine. Beautiful catch there with the Rascals. As long as he's not caught off without Elixir, he should be okay.
Well, the great thing about this deck and this situation, Eric, is that, you know, when you're worried about the flying machine with no fireball, you're worried about bridge battles.
Yeah.
And this is not a bridge battle deck that Morten's running. It plays deep on defense on his side or deep in offense on the opposing side.
Yeah, it was a very risky choice. I'm not gonna fully back the deck, but the way it's panning out has been absolutely perfect for Morten. I was just, you know, praising the fact that he hasn't really gone to wall breakers. He hasn't been predictable. This could have been a lot worse, but this is still a lot of damage coming in.
Quite a bit in indeed, and just like that, the lead will go the opposite direction, 14-06 to 15-42.
Morten is going to have to get some more damage in quickly. In triple elixir, he does outcycle, but it's going to be an issue with that bar barrel and that cage. What he has to do is try to force out that cage with the Archer Queen so that he's able to get that wall breakers push that he did earlier on. For as long as that Archer Queen is not demanding the cage, it is going to be virtually impossible to connect, and that is what you want to see. Cage comes down, now we can get a wall breakers push.
Rascals coming in hopefully just in time on Morten's side, and they do get in front to stop the connection from the flying machine, but Poison gets a ton of value. Lciop putting on very, very good pressure right now with the final 50 seconds in triple.
He needs to start, you know, really throwing those barrels out. You need to throw those goblin barrels out. Try to get one of them to connect. Even one stab will be enough. Here we go. We got the barrel out. He needs to go defensive now. Cage should come in. Beautiful cage up high, but that flying machine just doing so much work.
And not able to get the Archer Queen on the flying machines. Now 2 princesses, and the mark though, 8:06, 23 seconds left, and one very important point here, Eric. No big spell, no direct damage at all in the deck of Morten.
I'm not gonna say my take again on no big spell because you already know where I stand with that. Just too risky. Last game, no big spell, no direct damage, even though you do have that barrel. That's it for Morten.
Wow. absolute wow. Morten will drop down into the elimination bracket. Lciop with an amazing come-from-behind performance in this matchup, or amazing one to come from behind the reverse sweep here against Morten. And